to cut cabbage. You know what that is in the kitchen?
No.
It's related to the huskahoo.
Ooh.
But it's like bigger, and you can, for example, pass an entire cabbage. So it's a board, and then it has mounted on it or built into it a blade that runs parallel to the board. And on some of them, you can adjust the height of the blade. So I could pass a vegetable, rub it on the board, and it would, it's basically like this, but a lot bigger. So that you can actually slice
Just one cutting?
Just one cutting, so you get slices. So a lot of people use that to shred cabbage. I've never had one of those. And being a hobo, you don't want to carry, you just want to carry around a knife. So there's a lot of people cut cabbage different ways. Actually, a lot of people cut cabbage basically the same way, which is they start by cutting it down the axis in half. That's wrong. That's the incorrect way to do it. If you want to get a really fine shred on the cabbage, which is what you want to get, because when you're eating the raw cabbage, you want a fine shred so that whatever you dress it with can make the ceviche of the cabbage. So you're not eating just like raw cabbage. That's actually disgusting. So, all right. So this is a geometric principle of cutting the cabbage. This is the axis. So all the leaves are growing out of the stem, right? All right. To start it, we're going to cut, you never guess. So the stem, you imagine, is pretty low in there, right? Maybe only extends to, at most, half of the height of the head, but probably less. So imagine like the cabbage is the earth, you know? Like, so the 23-degree tilt. It's kind of like that. You're tilting it like the earth, and you make, it doesn't really, I would say, if I'm looking down at the cabbage, I'm cutting about a third off, but this is the tilt of the axis. So I'm making a weird, like, tangential slice. So this is what the cabbage looks like if I set it on its base, that angle. Then I have this little disc. This is what you want. This is also what you want. You can work off of both of these shapes. So now I'm cutting the disc. So the cabbage is put together in this way that it's all, the leaves are sort of held together in a bowl shape here. So I'm holding it like this. And I never am going to try to cut the entire face of the slice, because I won't be able to control the thickness of my knife. My knife will inevitably slip and I'll start getting fat cuts. Everybody does this when they try to shred cabbage, and that's why the shredded cabbage is not good, and the cabbage salads are not good, and people think they don't like cabbage because they're not cutting it right. And to cut it right, so as you can see, what I'm doing by holding this against the cutting board, I'm actually pushing the leaves together tight, and I'm only going to cut from at most halfway up the sliced surface. So this way I can really control the cut on the whole way down.
Wow.
And now I don't keep doing, now it's like getting kind of wobbly. So now I rotate it, and I just keep doing that, and I just keep rotating it. So I'm actually always cutting on a curve, and that makes it even easier. I have more control on how thin I get it, because my blade, I'm not having to control my blade through the entire length of the slice. I'm actually only slicing a small portion of the curved surface. And you just keep rotating. Your knife doesn't have to be super sharp either. In fact, which is good if you're traveling. Your knife, if it's a little bit dull, it almost helps, because you're sort of sliding the knife. If the knife is very sharp and you try to do this, you have to be more precise, because if a very sharp knife, whatever angle I set it on, it's gonna cut at that angle. So I have to, if I have a very sharp knife, I have to be very, very Japanese about my placement of the knife. But if I'm slacking, and I haven't sharpened my knife for a while, I'm not paying that much attention to the angle of my knife. With a not so sharp knife, it's okay because I have to apply the pressure, my knife slides a little bit, and I want that so that I'm always kind of just skimming the surface. And then you get this kind of pyramid-y shape, and you just keep going around and going around and going around. At some point it gets weird, then you lay it on its side and you kind of just slice it, finish it off. And then the result is that you have this really fine shred. Beautiful. And you didn't need any special equipment, just a knife and a board. And it's not hard. It's not a hard technique. It's just a principle, basically. Technique is very easy. It's not like, oh, you have to practice. All you have to do is get the principle right. The wrong principle being trying to cut it down the middle and then trying to get the entire surface. Like, that doesn't work. The smaller the surface you're working with, the easier it is to control. So then, the reason I'm doing this is because now this cabbage is one of the best things you can use because it's very nutritious, it's very anti-inflammatory, it's very like miracle food, and it's very cheap, it's always available, and it keeps a very long time in your refrigerator and even outside your refrigerator. It's the only leafy green I know of that you can keep outside the refrigerator for a long time. It's bred for storage. So this same idea you can make yourself any time of day or night. A cabbage salad with anything, right? You can put meat, you can put cheese, you can put eggs, you can put nuts, you can put any
Other vegetables.
other vegetable. But if you don't have any other vegetables, it's also fine. You put the nice herb spice mix, pepper. And then, you still running?
Yeah.
So then to dress it, what's very delicious on the cabbage salad, of course, I don't use it because I don't use it anymore because I'm kind of a purist, but the most delicious dressing for the cabbage salad is oil, usually a nice olive oil, soy sauce of your choosing, so either a shoyu or a tamari or even Bragg's, like any kind of brown soy-based savory sauce with saltiness, and then a little bit of vinegar. You need a little bit of acid.
That is too impure for you, what you just said?
At some point in my life, well, I like the taste of soy sauce. Everybody likes the taste of soy sauce, but I can tell that it doesn't do anything good for me. It doesn't raise my vibration.
I see.
It just doesn't. It's very delicious, but it doesn't have any benefits. So since I don't actually eat for taste, I don't actually care about the taste, I care about the fucking buzz.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it kills my buzz a little bit, but it's very tasty. So if you're somebody who cares about taste,
Yeah.
I would say use soy sauce. Like, always have some kind of nice soy sauce that you like. I wouldn't get the really standard shitty kind with sodium benzoate. I think that preservative is pretty fucked up. So you want to get just a cleaner one that's just preserved with alcohol or something like that. Okay, so here I have put cabbage. I just put some sunflower seeds and some of, this is just a blend of
Yeah.
vegetables and spices.
No salt, though.
There's no salt in this.
No salt. You have not added
have
any
not salted
saltiness. Yeah.
If you use soy sauce, obviously you don't need to salt it.
Right.
But if you don't use soy sauce, you need to salt it. Since I don't have any soy sauce, except for some really gross soy sauce I'm sure that Tony probably has, I'm gonna put some salt. And I would make it kind of salty, but again, you probably salt less because you're eating for blood sugar. And here I did the dressing. I did olive oil. I always try to buy oil produced in California.
Yeah.
Who knows if they're lying to you, but I think it's less likely they're lying to you. They might be lying to you. So then you put some oil. Now, the vinegar or lemon, whatever acidic component that you use on the cabbage salad, I want to say the ratio of vinegar on a lettuce salad is going to be higher. A cabbage salad, for some reason, you don't need that much vinegar. So you want to go very light on the vinegar to begin with and then taste it.
This had more proportionally vinegar?
No.
No.
The sweet potato thing also had just a tiny bit of vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on a lettuce salad, when you're making a dressing, it's often half vinegar. If you look at if somebody's making dressing them at home, you know, I think it's almost like half vinegar or a third vinegar. And I'm gonna venture to say that it's less on a cabbage salad. I don't know why that is. It's a chemistry thing. It gets just like overpowering and nasty. The cabbage has a lot of water in it. And when you salt it, it starts bringing that water out of the cabbage. So cabbage has a lot more water than lettuce. It weighs a lot more, right? There's a lot more water in it. Lettuce is a very thin leaf.
Yeah.
There's just not a lot of weight there, right? Like how much does a head of lettuce weigh? Not that much. How much does a head of cabbage weigh? Significant. So just a little bit, and then you try it. Brewer's yeast is also really good on this.
Brewer's
Or
yeast.
nutritional yeast.
Yeah. I got a ton of that if you need any.
I also stopped eating that most of the time. I don't know why. I don't.
Oh.
It didn't make me feel great. I think I should put too much oil on this.
You put too much?
I mean, it's not really too much. It's not like it ruins it. I put more than you needed, you know. Whatever. A little more vinegar. Some people really don't like vinegar. Have you known people that really don't like vinegar?
Don't recall.
Some people really don't like vinegar, but they like lemon.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is in a person that makes them, some people really, the taste of vinegar makes them yuck. My mom is kind of that way. Another friend of mine is that way. Okay, now, on this, then, do you like boiled eggs?
Mm-hmm.
I think I have a boiled egg here. And probably some kind of cheese I have somewhere.
Why do you lay that on its side?
I don't know, because I felt like it. No reason. There's no reason.
Okay.
So it doesn't obstruct the view if you're filming.
But you were doing it before I was filming.
Because, I don't know. I don't have a good reason for that. I mean, no matter what you do, it's going to take time to prepare your food every day. But, you know, you got to do something.
Oh. Not really.
If you want to, like, memorize your lines and stuff.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I had, now on this, it'd be nice if you had like a big bunch of parsley or cilantro, you know. Just chop up the whole thing. I don't think I do right now. What do I have? Let me see what else I have. Oh, look at this, a few tomatoes. Tomatoes can sometimes make it kind of weird.
How so?
I can't remember how to explain it, but eat those separately.
Eat what?
Just eat the tomatoes separately. Yeah, tomatoes. There's something about putting tomatoes in the cabbage salad that can be iffy. It can work, but it can also not work. And it can make you bum.
It goes with this, though.
I'm glad you think so.
You wouldn't do that, though?
Probably not.
You wouldn't put tomatoes with your beets and sweet potato?
No, I might. Maybe might.
What kind of cheese is that?
Spicy Jack?
Fascinating.
Do you do this kind of thing?
Sure.
Somebody bought it, I don't know.
So you didn't buy that?
I don't really like Jack cheese. Actually, I don't like Jack cheese at all. I don't even know why they invented it.
But you're about to eat it.
No, you're about to eat it.
Oh. I am? Mm-hmm. This is for me?
Yeah, you can take it home if you don't finish it.
All right.
Or you can just fucking man up and finish it.
Man up.
Like, what is the deal with Jack cheese? It's just soft, it doesn't taste like anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. It's obviously it doesn't have a lot going for it because it's one of the only cheeses whose popular form involves sticking jalapeno peppers inside of it. Obviously, it needs help,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's a boring cheese.
It has no identity. Embarrassingly, it's named after our county, our city.
And our peak.
Local real estate tycoon.
Who's that?
David Jacks?
Oh. Is that who Jack's Peak is named for? Oh, son of a gun.
That's what Jack's Peak is named after. That's what Don W. Park is named after. Because his name is David Jacks. So obviously, Spanish-speaking people called him
Man.
Don David. And somebody anglicized that. So Don Davy Park is named after him.
Jeez.
And the cheese is also, I think his wife made cheese. Or something like that.
This is turned into a regular cooking show.
Yeah. So, this same savory kind of style you can definitely do with summer squash, or I guess whatever you want, experimenting as you see fit, chopping up, yeah, any kind of vegetable, using anything, any combination of anything. But the cabbage is, like I said, the cabbage is, it's just cheap, easy, accessible, lasts a long time. You don't have to think about it. You can buy 1 or 2 heads of cabbage and not think about it for a long time, and you know it's there. You cut little pieces of it off. I didn't explain how you deal with the rest of this. It's the same principle. When you cut the rest of this, you're also going to work around the round. You're just going to work around. Eventually, you work around the stem, actually. So you'll be working around the stem. Eventually, you'll end up with the little nubby stem, and you're cutting around, cutting around, cutting around, cutting around. But just always keeping in mind that principle that you're trying to cut perpendicular to the arrangement of leaves.
Yeah.
And on the smallest surface area that you can get your knife.
Smallest surface area.
Yeah, like I'm not trying to cut this entire face. I'll start cutting, because I have no choice but to cut on flat. But then, as soon as I get a little, as soon as I get a bevel, I'm
Yeah.
actually cutting on the bevel. Yeah. So yeah, I'll continue shaving it this way. I'll turn it around. I'll shave it this way until I reach the stem. I'll keep turning it, turning it, turning it. You can save that for next time. And that is a cabbage salad. And so this is where you give me